Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Sunday morning. Today is June 8th, 2025, and I'm glad to have you here with me. So, what happens when teachers quit and then get online and tell you exactly why they are quitting and leaving the profession in mass detail? And it doesn't seem like this is an isolated incident because many of the stories that one teacher tells is very much similar teacher who seems to leave the profession abruptly. There's a crisis going on, guys, and we need to talk about it. So you know how we do. We go to the tape, and then we come back with our commentary. Here we go.
That I am no longer a teacher, thank God, I can finally say the things that have been on my mind all school year. Okay. As somebody that taught high school and basically educating our new young adults, we should all be scared. Every last one of us should be scared. These kids cannot read, they cannot write. There is no type of comprehension skills, no type of critical thinking. They cannot do anything on their own. They expect everything to be taught to them. Well, I won't even say taught. They expect everything to be given to them. So in my class, we did this thing where I made them write once a week. So they would have some time where they would have to write at least a paragraph, meaning 5 sentences. 5 sentences. The amount of assignments that I got in with 1 sentence, 2 sentences, the amount of complaints I got with the whole 5 sentences, that's too much. That's too much. Can we do 3? Can we do 3? Isn't 3 considered a paragraph? Oh, baby. We are in for a wild ride, y'all. Every assignment that I gave them, I kid y'all not, every assignment that I gave them, there was a student that came to, several students that came to my desk and asked me to walk them through the entire assignment, the whole thing. But genuinely, the truth of the matter is everybody is failing these kids. Everybody. The school board with all these different rules, they're failing these kids. The principals or admin altogether, they're failing these kids, and they're failing teachers because they're basically telling us that we had to just pass a child along just to keep these graduation numbers up. So everybody. Oh, and don't get me started on the parents. Like, I would call and say, hey, your child is failing. And the first thing is, well, why didn't I know about this? Probably because you didn't respond to my emails. On top of that, you have 24-hour access to Power School. When I tell y'all it is horrible, like, the parents that are here now are not the parents that we had growing up. My parents checked my Power School weekly. And still to this day, my brother just graduated high school a few weeks ago, and still to this day, his grades were checked. Everybody's grades were checked. So, unfortunately, it's not these kids' faults. I mean, yeah, they're lazy, but like, what are you supposed to do when all you got to do is tell your mama, well, she failing me, and the school board is going to accommodate that parent? Like, it's crazy, y'all. We should be very scared for our new nurses, our new doctors, our new everybody. These colleges are going to have to start lowering their requirements. They're going to have to start lowering just lowering everything, because the way that stuff is going now, the amount of kids that are going to come into these schools and they cannot read, they cannot write, they cannot do anything without AI. We should be scared. We should really be scared. Have a great day.
Guys, what do you think about that? What do you think about what she just said? That we should be scared, that everybody should be scared because the kids can't read or write. And you know, one of the things that that is near and dear and very, very important to me is literacy. Being able to read. Reading for me was something that truly, I would say, helped not only make me the person that I am today, but also it really saved me. Because where would I have been without reading? What would I have done? What would I have gravitated to if I couldn't read and write? And the inverse of reading is writing. She mentioned a whole lot of things that kids they come to her and they need her to walk them through entire assignments. The other thing that she said was that they can't do anything on their own. And almost she mentioned something that almost sound like entitlement, like you needed to do these things for them. Like they pretty much demand, certain things. Or when she gives them direction, they tell her that, isn't 3 sentences a paragraph. It's the entitlement. I hear words like not being proactive, being pretty lazy. This is a crisis, it sounds like. And she mentioned doctors and nurses, and this is important for everybody to share this video, especially the nurses, because if anybody knows that becoming a doctor, lawyer, nurse is vigorous, you have to be able to read and write. So what are the schools going to do? The state boards of nursing, the institutions where people, have to pass their bar exam. Are they going to have to lower their standards to allow these children to pass these tests? Or is this what our government, these HB1, is it HB1 visas, where people from other countries come over here? Are they going to increase those? I think so. I think there's solutions to this. It's summertime, guys. And I always want to talk now in my videos or even podcasts about what are the solutions. Parents get involved. She also mentioned the parents. The parents are like, well, why are you failing my child? And that the parent has 24-hour access. Now, we could blame it on the fact that the parents are working 2 and 3 jobs, but I just can't accept that, because these same parents are online, they're TikToking it and doing all other type of things. You have a computer in your pocket called a cell phone, and all you have to do is put that app on your phone and look at your child's grades on a daily basis. I didn't have that. I don't know what these parents are doing today. And I know things are a little different than 15, 20 years ago, but she even mentioned her parents. If you are involved, you care about your student, you're going to check your child's progress or lack thereof and be in constant communication with the teachers. I know I was, and we didn't have stuff online at the time, but I stayed in contact with my teachers, my son's teachers. They emailed me, I emailed them back. I stayed on top of whatever forms and documents needed to be filled out, their grades, whatever they need, supplies. I was Johnny on the spot with it. I didn't play those type of games. And that was in addition to me taking care of all the finances, taking care of the bills, working, at sometimes trying to go to school myself. So we can't just say that the parents are too busy, because I had a plethora of things that I had to do, but I still, regardless of the situation, regardless of what was going on in my relationship or even my marriage, I made sure that my sons had what they needed for school. And I was in close communication with the teachers at the school. I would not hesitate to email, call, or ask what they needed. They were prepared. They knew what they needed to do. We stayed up to date on what was going on. I signed documents. I did all of that. So I don't understand what is going on. Are these parents so apathetic? Or are they so beat down that they don't have the wherewithal to be engaged with their children? Having children means you have to be engaged for the rest of their lives sometimes. It doesn't mean that you have the kids and you put them in front of a computer or give them a screen. And parents, please decrease the amount of screen time that your children have. If you have a child, they should not, in my opinion, have a computer or a cell phone until they maybe get into high school. I'm serious. If a tablet, if that much, have them do it on a desktop and have them watch videos and stuff on a TV screen, but giving them, I think, a laptop or giving them a tablet may not be the best thing to do. Very infrequently, if that much, and get them books. There's a crisis. She's like, I'm so happy. Thank God. This is what she's saying. That she's not a teacher anymore. And she seems like a person that you could really relate to and that could really teach the children. But if we don't have, it looks like, then she talked about admin. If we don't have the participation of the parent with the school system, with the teachers, it doesn't work. It shows you that if one person is trying to pull a load, the person tires out and they leave. I don't know why people don't even think of this in relationships. You have to be, everybody has to be on the same page and working toward the common goal. If not, the person who was putting in, and she was the one who was putting in all the time, the teacher, she was trying to pour into those children and give and give. I mean, it's common sense and common mathematics, right? Critical thinking, she said they don't have. They do not have the ability to, don't have the ability to make good decisions, which means they're going to make poor decisions and have poor consequences. They cannot critically think. Now, I know some of us have made mistakes and done things, but they can't critically think on a basic level. So that means on TV, I know there's some other content creators who do daily news, and it shows you that debauchery is just widespread because people are making very quick, fast decisions without thinking critically. And people are losing their lives over it. So this goes further than what we think. The fact that watching the effects of this on the news every day, it is far reaching when somebody is illiterate. And that's why I'm going to speak about this as a sub segment of videos and topics that I do. Because if a child can't read or write, that is going to have a far-reaching effect on them, their children, their relationships, and on the world as a whole. Everybody is going to feel this, and they're feeling it right now. I know I see it when I watch the news. I'm like, I watch the news with some of these young men who have maybe escaped from prison. I'm thinking, how well are they able to read or articulate, or what happened in these young men's lives? Because there's definitely a pipeline from school to prison. But guys, let me know what you think about this. I mean, I think we are at epidemic proportions if our children who are in high school cannot read, cannot follow the simple directions. They want AI, and I know AI is here. It's not going anywhere, but what's behind it? It is almost, I think the psychologists have done studies and know the effects of what's going to happen. Hence, why some things are happening in that particular White House. AI, guys, you got to do some research on it and go down that rabbit hole. And it ain't nothing cute and it ain't nothing pretty. We've been dumbed down. That's why I don't believe half of what I hear on social media. I really don't. I kind of turn it off to listening to certain things. I only allow myself to listen to certain things. I don't feed my mind this stuff because it has a way of just dumbing you down. And if you can't think critically, what's happening is our young children are actually believing and buying into everything they hear on TikTok, YouTube, or any social media platform. That's what it does to you. You can't sit there and go, I don't think that's true. Let me do a little bit of research. Let me see what's happening with that. Let me just go and check. Let me, follow up. Let me read some other books. But if you're not reading, you ain't doing no research on nothing. And one of the best things that you can do sometimes is just to do the research. But if you can't read, you're handicapped. So what is happening is these children and even some adults are being fed information that it is not even real. And they can't even sit to think and critically think that maybe they're not telling the truth. Guys, we have to think critically, even in our own lives. For example, if somebody comes to me with some mess and says somebody says something, I'm thinking critically. What's this person's intent? And why are they even coming to me with it? But if you can't think critically, you fall into the trap. You believe it. And then whatever happens, happens. But it's on you. It could be to your own detriment that you maybe stop talking to somebody or sever ties of relationships. It could be to your own detriment, because that could be a person that could help you and pour into you, or, support you in your life endeavors. But if you believe everything you hear, that's rather foolish. Guys, our kids can't read. She says we need to be scared. Now, I know we don't operate in fear, but we need to be doing something. Something should move us, because we're going to see the effects. And also, this plays into Project 2025. If you don't know anything about it, go look that up. This plays exactly into that. They know these kids can't read. And they're actually probably looking for them to go to AI to get all the answers. But if you can't read, it erases history. It will erase accomplishments. If there are no books and everybody just believes what they hear, things can be changed or altered. Guys, let me know what you think. Are you scared? Should we be scared? My hats go off to all the teachers in the classroom teaching our children. I loved my teachers, every last one of them. I respected them. We knew better than to disrespect our elders. And it was a different type of teacher back then. But all in all, I really did appreciate my teachers. For without them, where would I be? Right? My kindergarten teacher, Miss McDonald. My first grade teacher, Miss Lightborn, Miss Novak, Miss Mitchell, Miss Tondu, Mr. Grant when I went to 275 for a brief minute. Then I got scurried over to Summit Junior in Summit. When I got to Brooklyn Tech, Mr. Kuzakria, when we had to walk around with the T-square technical drawing. I remember their names to this day. Teachers are so crucial. They're not there to raise our kids. They're there to teach them. That's it. They're there to teach them, not to raise our children. But thanks to all the teachers who are out there still fighting, who still have a passion for teaching. Thank you so much. Guys, let me know what you think about this. And as you can tell, I'm very passionate about it. Illiteracy. I have a video coming up that's going to talk about my encounter in life with illiteracy, when I first discovered what being illiterate was. Let me know what you think about this topic. Like, share, subscribe, hit that little bell, and hopefully you'll be notified of all my uploads. Thank you for watching and your support with Monique Speaks and Reactions. Peace, and I'm out.